Alright, time to do our CSS battle. We have a couple circles today. We have a donut and a donut hole. Let's see how we want to do that if we are new to CSS battle. My guess is we have two elements, one with a border and one without. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and select our body and set its background to purple. And in my opinion, we have a couple of divs. Oops. All right, we have a couple of divs. The first div, we're going to select, and we're going to say background. So we're going to spell it correctly. And we're going to make it the yellow color. We're going to give it a border radius of something incredibly big, like 9 inches. We're going to give it a height of, I don't know what it is, 80, and a width of 80. Might be all right. We're going to give it some margin. So margin, I don't know what it is, 150, 180, 0, because it doesn't matter, 80. All right, it's too far down. I'm going to refresh the page to load the extension. So I have that button. Now we need to try to get it into place. This is going to be more like 100, 110 maybe. Needs to be bigger. But let's move it over since we're already on margin. Let's make it 62. That might be right. Needs to be bigger. 90 and 90. And then it needs to move up. Nope, that's too far. There we go. Now, the next div we can see is down here. If we move this up a little bit, let's move it to 80. We can see that one come up with it. So the next one, we need to go ahead and select with a sibling selector. And then we can say margin 0. Okay, that pulls it to there. All right, so margin is going to be minus, I don't know, 50, minus, and 0 there, minus 100, 110, nope, less, 95. That's close. And then 100, 150, 200, 220, 230. That's close, 232 looks right. Now we have a position correctly, we need to style it correctly. So background, could be any number of things, could be transparent. And border, 30 pixels, probably not big enough, solid yellow color. 40 pixels it looks like. Now that moved at Forest, so that's not that convenient, but we should be able to fix it. Let's move that minus, whoops, wrong way. It was 90 before, now it needs to be 130. And this was 232, so it needs to be 192. That should be a match. I just submitted to the back end by hitting Control Enter. And that is indeed a match. Okay, usually I start over with these and try to make them more efficient. I'm going to try not to start over today. I'm going to try to just kind of move things up the stack and make them a little bit more efficient if that is workable today. I don't know if it is. That's what I'm going to try. So instead of using two divs, we are going to cheat. So instead of selecting the body, I'm going to select the HTML. And I'm going to move the background to the HTML. It looks the same. It's not exactly the same, but it looks very similar. And then this time we're actually going to use the body as an element in our solution. Which one? I don't know. We can use it as either. Yeah, we're going to use the body as an element in our solution. Definitely going to do that. But I think the actual right move here is going to be a box shadow move. And it's probably not even with the body. It's probably with the HTML. We'll deal with that in a minute. So I have the HTML. It's the right color. I want to try to draw a circle right here where this purple one is. I want to then box shadow that circle once, making it bigger, and then I want to box shadow it again, pushing it off to this side. That means the background of the HTML is going to stay either purple or transparent, or yeah, purple or transparent. Either one would work because the background's already purple. And then I would have yellow for the box shadow color and just have two box shadows. So that's what we're going to try to do. So that means we need to move. That means we not need to move border radius up to the body. Now we're seeing the two divs right now, which we're actually not going to use, but we're going to keep them around for a minute. We should maybe be able to use height and width and margin. The margin won't work just directly. Let's go ahead. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's say outline. So that 1Q, red, solid. There is what the body looks like right now. Okay. So let's move the body into a better position. Let's give it a bottom margin of, I don't know what it is, 105. Okay. So right now, because we have the divs, they are taking up space inside the body, causing the body to change its shape a little bit. That means I need to delete those items from the DOM to get the body just the shape of the body. All right, now let's start trying to get it into place. So it needs to go over to the right, which is going to be this param on our margin. That needs to be less. Let's try 80. Let's try 70. That looks right. And this one needs to be much more, like 180, 200, 220, 240. Maybe it's not 242, maybe it's just 240. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, there is the shape of our body in the right position. Now we're going to box shadow, and we're going to just make it bigger in the same place. So we're going to say X of 0, Y of 0, blur of 0, and grow of, I don't know what it is. I think it's 40 pixels. Okay, let's turn the diff off so you can see what it did. It did that. Now, if we wanted to clean stuff up, we could get rid of our outline. We could make that the yellow color by doing that. And now we have the right thing for the donut. Now we need to do the donut hole. So for that one, we're going to be minus, I don't know what it is, 150 pixels in X, 0 in Y. And we're going to give it that color again. Don't think that's quite the right place, but you get the idea. Needs to move over to there. And now, with just that, we can get rid of all of this other stuff and submit again. And that is also a match. Now, this is getting more concise. We're down to 120 characters. That's better. I think we can do more. I think. Yeah, I think I don't even need to use the body here. I think everything can just be on the HTML. So let's try. We're first going to put an outline on the HTML so we can see it. Outline 1Q, solid, red. That's my standard trick for seeing where the thing is. Right now, that outline that we're drawing is at the edge of the viewport, so you can't see it. So let's give it a little margin. A little margin. Here's some margin. You can use that. So we use that for our margin, and we have this box over here about where the other box was, which is kind of what we want. Now, instead of having a square, we want a circle, so we can just move our border radius up. That's working. Now, our box shadow is on the body, which doesn't have the border radius we have, so we're seeing squares. So let's just move that up to the HTML, and it's working again. We once again get rid of our outline, get rid of this noise that nobody needs, and we have what should be a solution. Let me verify that. That is a match. We're down to 115 characters now. All right, one additional way to save a couple characters is we've used this color twice in our box shadow. We've done this trick before. Instead of using that, we're going to say color, and we're going to put, is that there? Yeah, that there. And then we can get rid of this. Whoops, one more, that one. And this completely. And that technically didn't save us any characters, but we can get rid of one more by deleting that. So that saves us one more character. And that's what this is all about, clever ways to reduce character counts. That's the reason I used 9 inches here instead of something like 1,000 pixels, which works just as well. 9 inches is 3 characters, which is shorter. We can also check to see if any of our colors are close to being able to use alpha versions. I don't think it's going to happen this time, but let's check. If we had a white background and we needed that purple color, nothing really matches. If we had that purple color and needed the yellow color, we have a couple options. We could use ED5 or FF5D. Let's try one of those. We can put that there. It looks pretty good. To the eye, it looks pretty good. Let's turn on our diff view. Still looks pretty good. You can see a tinge of it's a little bit lighter where the yellow is than where the black is. Let's submit that. I don't think it's going to get by because it's 8 points, 8 color levels, color differences away. Yeah, it didn't like that at all. So let's just undo that. Whoops. Quit. All right, there. Now we're back to where we were, I think. We can also, in the extension, there's a unit replace. That replaced this value with 5CH4, so it didn't replace 170 pixels. Let's see what 170 pixels is close to. We put it in here in the tool. It's close to 180Q. It's not exactly 180Q, but let's see if it works. Submit that to the back end. We are waiting for a reply from the back end. Yeah, it was fine with that. We can also play with percentages for the margins. I don't think 105 is going to be anything. I think it's like 26%-ish. Not exactly. I don't think it's going to let me get away with that. Yeah, no, it's not going to let me get away with that. So 105. I don't think I can get rid of that. Nope. 70. Is 70 anything good? Let's start with, whoop, not $30. 5, oh, going the wrong way. 25, 15, 19, 20, nope, 18, probably 17.5. Yeah, I bet that would work. Yeah, I don't know. There's probably some ways to save a few more characters here and there. I'm not smart enough to do it. Yeah. Yeah, there's probably some ways to save some more characters. Oh, well, one way is not use HTML here and just use $sign. That is kind of the self-selector sort of thing. And we're going to minify, submit. And I think that is probably my solution for the day. I did see a hint that somebody wrote this as kind of an inline style as opposed to using more standard CSS, which might, in specific cases, might save you a character or two. You can use kind of text instead of color. You have to add some plus signs and that sort of stuff. But it is possible to do that. I'm not very good at that. If you want to see somebody doing that, I'm probably not the one to watch right now. But explore it. Maybe I'll put a version of that in the description, but there's no reason to do 15 minutes of me struggling with it. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.